As Grapevine's Chief of Police, today I want to report to the community the results of the grand jury investigation regarding the incident that involved the death of Mr. Ruben Villalpando during a felony traffic stop conducted by Officer Robert Clark on the night of February 20th, 2015. After an extensive investigation by the Euless Police Department, a review by the Tarrant County District Attorney's Office, and a Tarrant County grand jury, the case was no-billed, meaning that Officer Clark's actions on that night complied with Texas law concerning the use of deadly force by a law enforcement officer. Now that the grand jury has rendered its decision, we are able to share the dashcam video of the incident, which we believe has been mischaracterized since the incident first took place. What you will see in the video is Officer Clark finding Mr. Villalpando's car in a parking lot of a closed office complex where a burglar alarm has sounded. With clear, reasonable suspicion, which is necessary to investigate further, Officer Clark attempts to make an investigatory stop.
64, I have a vehicle leaving the scene in Heath's Lane. I'm in pursuit.
Instead of stopping his vehicle, Mr. Villalpando, whose blood alcohol level was later determined to be well over the legal limit, leads Officer Clark on a high-speed chase with speeds up to 89 miles per hour through heavy traffic into the city of Euless, elevating the situation to a felony offense of evading arrest or detention in a vehicle. When Mr. Villalpando finally stops at the very edge of a busy highway, Officer Clark follows well-established procedures for a felony traffic stop that are designed to protect both Officer Clark and Mr. Villalpando.
Let me see your hands! Put your hands out the window!
The procedures are meant to keep Mr. Villalpando in his vehicle with his hands visible, to assure he has no weapon until additional officers can arrive to assist in the arrest. Officer Clark's voice is raised at this point so that he can be heard over the traffic noise.
Get your hands out the window! Get your hands out the window!
But he is clearly calm and in control during his radio transmissions.
364, I got him at gunpoint. Get your hands up! Get your hands up!
Mr. Villalpando follows the officer's instructions at first.
Got his hands on his head. I got him at gunpoint. Said he kept trying to reach for something. He's obeying my commands right now.
But then exits the vehicle and begins walking toward Officer Clark, despite repeated emphatic instructions not to do so, and at a time, Officer Clark is pointing his weapon at him.
Hey, I'm gonna look you! No! Stand right there!
It is important to note that the verbal exchange between Officer Clark and Mr. Villalpando was in English. Mr. Villalpando clearly responded to some commands in English, and when he spoke, he did so in English. While some have been critical of the officer's use of strong language, we can see in the video he is urgently trying to keep Mr. Villalpando at a safe distance until backup arrives. Strong language only starts after Mr. Villalpando refuses to comply with the officer's clear, lawful instructions.
Back up, mother! Back up! Get to the back of the car!
But Mr. Villalpando keeps moving toward the officer as vehicles on the roadway are passing close to both of them. We have also heard suggestions that Mr. Villalpando was not a threat because at times his hands are raised, but it would only take seconds for him to change the position of his hands if he comes close enough to attack the officer. Between the time Mr. Villalpando begins walking toward Officer Clark and the time Officer Clark utilizes deadly force, Mr. Villalpando has been told more than 20 times to stop approaching the officer. Officer Clark does not fire his weapon until Mr. Villalpando is close enough that he could physically attack him or try to obtain his weapon.
Shots fired! Shots fired!
Expert Yuri Patrick, a former FBI supervising agent with more than 23 years in law enforcement, reviewed the dashcam video for the Grapevine Police Department. His report reads in part, "He is verbally argumentative and defiant, even telling the officer to kill me. And then he proceeds to make an approach on the officer at a steady pace, unwavering, obstinate, eyes averted, despite being at gunpoint and subjected to a constant battery of orders to stop. Such behavior is consistent with the intent to close the range by moving slowly and inexorably and avoiding eye contact in order to dispel suspicion until close enough to suddenly attack."
No one has a definitive explanation for Mr. Villalpando's behavior on the night of February 20th, but it is possible that the fact that he was legally intoxicated and was facing a second arrest for driving while intoxicated may have impacted his conduct and actions. There is no question that the loss of any life is a source of sadness, and we understand the concerns expressed by many regarding this incident before all the facts were known. But sadly, this is not the first instance where someone whose judgment was impaired by alcohol has created a situation that led to their death. We appreciate the support of our Grapevine citizens and elected officials who supported the full, fair, independent investigative process that led to the grand jury's decision. Your police department remains committed to protecting and serving our community.